And you would be surprised, I know people, right, who have very, very large audiences. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of followers, but they still have difficulty actually turning their followers into customers and into clients. If you want to know what it takes to turn your followers into buyers, you're in luck because I'm going to get into it right now. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things, but I know that people think that I can only do all the things because I have all the followers, which is not true, because one, I don't have all the followers, but two, really people think you have to have a large following in order to be successful online, which is not true. You actually need a buying following, meaning you need to be able to convert your followers into customers. And you would be surprised, I know people, right, who have very, very large audiences. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of followers, but they still have difficulty actually turning their followers into customers and into clients. So regardless of how many followers that you have, the real focus is not so much the following, but if your following is interested in becoming clients and actually buying your products and services. And so if you want to know what it takes to turn your followers into buyers, you're in luck because I'm going to get into it right now. All right, so I call this process the client to content pipeline, right? And you want to build it in your business. And so in order to do that, the first thing that you need to focus on, if you want to turn your followers into clients, is you want to make sure that you are attracting the right followers. I see so many people get this wrong in that they are attracting followers who actually aren't even necessarily interested in their business. And I say this because there is such a focus on social media growth, and there is such a focus on how you can get as many followers as possible. So I see people doing dances on TikTok or, following trendy reels on Instagram because they're like, this is going to grow my audience. And yeah, you're right. It did. Great. Congratulations. You did a reel that went viral and you got 100,000, views on that reel, and you got, 1,000 new followers. But are those followers people that are actually interested in your product and services, who are actually interested in what it is that you have to offer? Or did they just think that the reel you did was funny and it was trending and now they're looking for more content like that? So you're going to make sure that you are actually attracting followers who are actually going to convert into customers because they are interested in the product and service that you have to offer. Don't get caught up in doing the trendy things that is going to grow your following if you end up growing a large following that is not an actual buying following. So make sure that you are attracting the right followers to begin with. All right, the next thing that you need to pay attention to, and I don't see a lot of people talking about this, even though this is hugely important, is that you want to make sure that you are selling to the sold, meaning people who already want what it is that you have to offer. I see a lot of online coaches, consultants, experts, course creators, anybody who is in this kind of like knowledge industry who wants to monetize their expertise online. They spend a lot of time convincing people why they should join a course, or why you should pay for coaching to begin with, or why you would even want to hire a consultant. That's not speaking to the soul, right? You're actually wasting a lot of time and wasting a lot of energy creating content all around why you need a coach, why you need this information. Let's just be real. If someone is already at a place where they don't understand why it's a benefit to them to work with a coach or purchase a course in order to learn some information, that's not really the person you should be speaking to. You want to sell to the sold, meaning people who have already raised their hands and who are already sold on the idea of working with a coach, or the idea of hiring a consultant, or the idea of joining a course. Now, the question is if you are the right expert for them. Are you the right course or the right coach for them? That's a separate question that obviously you will answer in your content, but you don't want to start at the place of, hey, do you want to even spend money on a course? Because if they're not even decided that they want to spend money on courses or that they want to spend money on coaching, it's not really your job to educate them, especially not at this stage, because you have limited time, you have limited resources, and you have limited content. And so use your content to speak to the people who are already sold, not the people that you have to convince. All right, speaking of selling to the sold, the next thing that you want to make sure that you're focused on is speaking to the people who are ready to spend. This is another big mistake that I see a lot of online coaches, consultants, and really just service providers in general make, is they try to sell to people who are in the market to do it themselves, right? Imagine if you were a painter and you want to use your social media to attract clients who will hire you to paint their house. Now, what sense would it make for you as a painter to do all these YouTube tutorials and videos about how to paint your house yourself, how to find the best type of paint, the best tape that you should use in order to make sure that you don't get, paint where you don't want it. Essentially, you are speaking to people who aren't ready to spend on a painter. They essentially want to spend on resources and tools so that they can do it themselves. So if you are a course creator, a coach, a consultant, an industry expert, make sure you're speaking to people who are ready to spend. So many people get caught up in this trap of creating a lot of DIY content, a lot of content around how someone can essentially take your expertise and do it themselves. And that's exactly what's going to lead them not to want to spend money with you. And it's going to help you build a following of people who, again, are interested in doing it themselves versus people who want to hire you. So make sure that in your content, you are speaking to people who are already sold on the idea of hiring an expert, working with a coach, and you're giving them the information that they need in order to make that decision and the type of information that they would be interested in as someone who is ready to spend. So make sure that you don't fall down the trap of speaking to the DIYers and the people who don't want to buy. Make sure that you are speaking to the people who are ready to spend. All right, I have more where that came from, but first I want to hear from you. What's your biggest struggle when it comes to turning your followers into clients? Share in the comments below. All right, the next thing that you need to do, and I don't see a lot of people talking about this, even though it's hugely important, is that you actually want to focus on creating community before you try to create clients. So this, content to client pipeline, it goes follower, community, and then clients. A big mistake that I see a lot of people make is that they try to go from follower to client, but they skip the community aspect in the beginning. And understand that when I say community, I mean you want to create an atmosphere where people are not only connecting with you, but they are connecting with each other over your broader subject matter. So again, maybe you are a relationship coach and you're looking for people to hire you for relationship coaching. And yes, you have followers who are following you for relationship coaching information. Don't forget that critical middle step where you are creating a community of people who are interested in improving their relationships and maybe improving their communication skills in those relationships. And so they're conversing with each other and they're chatting in the comments. You want to do that because from there, that's where your clients are going to come from. And really they sell themselves and they sell each other into you and into your program. So they might say, hey, I worked with such and she was amazing. You really should sign up for her latest course or whatever. Again, if you have this community of people who are around the subject matter and who want and are dedicated to improving themselves in that way, you'll find that it's that much easier to turn your followers into clients. So don't miss this crucial step of creating a community of people who are passionate supporters and who are passionate around your broader subject matter, not just you and your expertise. All right, the next thing that you want to do, and again, this is where people fail, is you want to sell off social media. Yes, one of the best ways to turn your followers into clients is to not try to do it on social media. Why? Because when people are on social media, they're in the mindset of wanting to consume content, of wanting to consume free content. So you want to make sure that when you go to sell, you are selling in a context that is not when they are looking for free information, i.e. social media. So that might look like getting them on your email list or getting them involved in some other event. It could be a live event or even an in-person event, a virtual event, something that is separate and that is off social media so that you can then have the sales conversation there, not on social media. Because most of the time when people are on social media, they're not looking to buy. Now, this is not a hard and fast rule. I understand that sometimes you can sell on social media and people sometimes do have the ability to do that. But I find that typically this is for smaller ticket items or things like, clothing, accessories, fashion. When we talk about, again, selling your expertise, courses, your knowledge, coaching, you might get a low ticket ebook here and there or courses here and there, but if you really want to sell a substantial coaching program, most of those sales are actually going to happen off social media. So you want to make sure that you are creating an environment where you can have that sales conversation away from social media, because that's actually the best way to turn your followers into clients. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you love this video, you're gonna love my Client Attraction Masterclass. This is a masterclass that I did that walks you through my process of how I attract clients even to this day and how you can do the same. This masterclass is completely free, so you can click the link below to register now. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you loved it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next video, make sure you're following me on my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure you're following me on Instagram. It's CourtneyLSanders on Instagram. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.